They wait. In staffing agencies and on the streets, they get up before dawn to head out to factories to make your stuff. Temp workers, America's real gig economy. In the last dozen years, most job growth in the U.S. has come not from full-time workers, but from temps. In Chicago, they live here, in Little Village and Cicero, which have majority immigrant populations, or in Englewood, a predominantly black neighborhood with 21% unemployment. They're people like 68-year-old Isabel Martinez, Tyshawn Campbell, who recently got out of prison, and Anna Perez, who says she's been waiting 3 years for workers' compensation after getting hurt on a temp job. Tiara Hawkins lives in a homeless shelter. Today, she's getting ready at Greg Mann's apartment, a community organizer who introduced us to Tiara, because she's agreed to wear a hidden camera.
They're not thinking someone's coming in with a camera anyway.
She's willing to show us just how unstable life can be in the temp industry. We arrive at Elite Staffing at around 4:30 in the morning. Tiara heads in to apply for work. Then we wait for Elite to assign Tiara to a job. An hour goes by. Then another. We see numerous people leave for work while Tiara sits waiting. This isn't entirely a surprise. Advocates say that companies and the staffing agencies they enlist to hire temps routinely discriminate against African Americans.
They go in the morning, they sit there for hours, and they're passed over, and they do it again and again and again, and they can't get work. You go into some of these factories and you look around and you might expect to see a sign on the wall that says blacks need not apply.
We do see other black workers boarding vans, which take them to the factories.
You know, it's evident they're not preferred. They're selected only when whatever's left over.
Elite Staffing CEO Gary Cole categorically denied hiring based on race. He said, "I don't care what color you are." Finally, Tiara gets a job, but it's for tomorrow. So we take her to 3 other agencies. It takes 8 hours until she lands a job today in a meatpacking freezer.
Okay. So the meatpacking company, the problem is that you'd have to have like thermal on and stuff. So
yeah, and they trying to send me out there without it, talking about it. You can do it. No, I can't. No.
Yeah.
Then she gets a job at a printing factory for $8.25 an hour. As we follow behind, a van takes Tiara to SG360, a printing and mailing company. We told Tiara that if anything was wrong with the factory's working conditions, we could come pick her up. She gives us a call.
It's an oven in there?
If it's 80 outside right now, it's like 130 in here. It's an oven.
She says like an oven in there, huh? Because of those hot machines, that's why. And they don't have enough ventilation.
We weren't able to independently verify the temperature of the factory.
No. Get out of here. I'm a worker. But they said in that hot degrees, you only get 1 20-minute break out of 8 hours. You literally in there dying. And there was a woman in there about 90 years old, taking saline drops and working her butt off.
I mean, that's the definition of a sweatshop. Someplace where you can pass out from heat stroke.
They got these industrial fans blowing heat around. They work you like a slave.
When Tiara tried to leave, she realized she was locked in.
There was only one way that the turnstile will go, and it's to let you in. And it's bars to prevent you from going out. We had to unlock the gate to let me out the building.
What were you doing?
I was preparing boxes for Amazon, ripping apart gift cards and stacking them in boxes for them to seal and wrap and package into trucks.
Tiara says no one at the factory gave her safety training or explained what she was supposed to do.
Grabbed the apron and followed the group and just started doing what they were doing.
SG360 claims that since the company installed thermometers earlier this year, the inside temperature of the building has not gone above 95 degrees. The company also said that a fingerprinting system should have let Tiara unlock the gates on her own. But our recording doesn't show Tiara getting fingerprinted. They also claim there's an emergency override. Finally, the company said all workers should have received safety training. An Amazon spokesperson said the company takes these allegations very seriously. We're looking into this and will take swift action. Temps have little leverage. They aren't guaranteed benefits, vacation, or sick days. They're significantly more likely than full-time workers to get hurt on the job. And because the factories are far out of town and most workers don't own a car, they're vulnerable to the van drivers, called raiteros.
I've spoken to a number of women who were picked up by a raitero, driven to a parking lot and essentially raped, and were concerned about saying anything or reporting that because they knew that they would be blacklisted and they wouldn't be able to work.
Y es por eso que los raiteros abusan, porque saben que nosotros tenemos la necesidad de trabajar.
Drivers often also charge for rides by taking a cut of workers' pay. Temps do essential work for companies that drive the U.S. economy, but they're treated as second-class employees.
It's like we were kind of invisible and just a number, easily replaced.
To me, it was like more, they just felt like you was a machine. You know, like you weren't, sometimes like you weren't human.
Bueno, allí nos tratan como sus esclavos.
Companies are making huge profits because the labor which they use is precarious staffing, temp labor.
There's a growing awareness that this industry has problems. This year, the Illinois House and Senate passed a bill that would increase protections for temporary workers. It's awaiting the governor's signature. Still, the United States has some of the weakest temp worker labor protections in the developed world. And the instability of temp work feeds back into communities across the country, like Little Village, Cicero, and Englewood.
Now, what a lack of work does in the community, it means a lack of economic stability, a lack of resources. Now, you're not bringing in any money, so it affects your family. That's why you have such a high crime rate, high drugs, gangs, everything. When you have a people that are being deprived of ability and opportunity to work and to do something positive with their life, what do you think is going to happen?
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.